In episode 6 of House of the Dragon, we see Seasmoke deny someone the chance to be his new rider and accept someone to be his new rider. So, why did he choose Addam of Hall to be his new rider? In the latest episode of House of the Dragon titled Small Folk, Rhaenyra is trying to find new people to ride the wild dragons living on her home base of Dragonstone. Her Kingsguard knight, Stefan Darkland, steps up and tries to mount the dragon Seasmoke, who was previously ridden by Rhaenyra's first husband, Laenor Velaryon. But that doesn't go over well, as Seasmoke fries Stefan, and it would appear that Rhaenyra's attempts to expand her air force are over at that point. But later in the episode, Seasmoke takes it upon himself to fly to Driftmark, where he basically zeroes in on Addam of Hall. He chases Addam around the island and through the forest until cornering him against a rock. We don't see what happens, but at the episode's end, we learn that Seasmoke has a new rider. But the question now becomes, why did Seasmoke choose Addam and seek him out? So the biggest reason is Addam reminds Seasmoke of his last rider. As I mentioned earlier, Seasmoke's previous rider was Laenor Velaryon, who faked his own death with Rhaenyra's back in season 1, so he could run away and live with his lover Carl Corey on Essos. Laenor abandoned Seasmoke on Driftmark, which was a little cruel, but I guess having a dragon with him on Essos would have been a little bit of a attention drawer. Anyways, Seasmoke has grown lonely without a rider, and it's implied that Laenor may even have died off screen, which could be why the dragon Seasmoke is feeling a little lonely lately. In the book Fire and Blood, Laenor doesn't fake his own death, but he dies for real, so all of it kind of ties together in that way. Laenor was the son of the wealthy Corlys Velaryon and the dragon rider Rhaenys. Rest in peace. The other half of this equation is Addam. It's been heavily implied in House of the Dragon this season that Addam and his brother Alan are actually the bastard sons of Corlys, conceived out of wedlock. So Laenor and Addam are half brothers, even if they really never met each other. So Seasmoke sought out Addam because he reminds the dragon of Laenor, his former rider, whom he still misses. Not only do Addam and Laenor share the same blood, but they even look a lot alike, except that Addam has black hair, while Laenor has silver white hair. While Seasmoke saw Stefan as kind of a phony, he looks at Addam as someone who looks familiar, which is how Addam was able to mount Seasmoke. We didn't actually see that happen, but we definitely will see that happen in episode 7, as we saw in the episode 7 preview trailer. Also, we have seen House of the Dragon breaking more of its source material, which there have been some really good changes, but also some really questionable ones. So we'll have to see how, as the show goes on, how they deal with those. But here are some of the changes that they have made. So in Fire and Blood, Otto Hightower has the idea to contact the Triarchy, old enemies of Daemon and Corlys, and bring them on their side of the Greens. In the show, Otto's grandson, Aemond, gets that idea. So not a huge change. Daemon Targaryen's stay at Harrenhal little resembles his time at the crumbling Riverlands castle as laid out in Fire and Blood. There, Daemon sweeps into the Riverlands and has almost no trouble raising an army. Alice Rivers is a Harrenhal wet nurse who doesn't do much of importance at this point in the story. But in House of the Dragon, Daemon, we all know how that's been going on with Daemon. In the book, a peasant named Nettles befriends and mounts a dragon named Sheepstealer, who lives on Dragonstone with the other wild dragons. In the show, it looks like Daemon's daughter, Rhaena, is who's going to meet Sheepstealer. We can't be certain, but it's looking more and more like Nettles may have been cut from the show, which is kind of disappointing, but maybe they will surprise us. But in a recent blog post, George Martin wrote about how dragons never fly far from warm places like Dragonstone. He said, quote, "You won't find dragons hunting the Riverlands or the reach of the Vale," he wrote, which seems pretty pointed after what we just saw in episode 6. The show also added a lot of elements in this new episode that aren't there in the book. The plotline involving Rhaenyra and Mysaria winning over the people of King's Landing by gifting them food is invented for the show, as is the resulting mob riot. Nowhere in the book is there a romance between Rhaenyra and Mysaria either, so that's uncharted territory as well. However, there's nothing really wrong with changing the source material for the show, especially since in Fire and Blood we don't really get too much material. It's kind of, told from different points of view. So some of them have been really good, but we'll just have to see as the show goes on. What have you thought about some of these changes made? Thanks for watching. Have a good one.